Does your leadership style focus on decision making or shifting your organizational culture? You see, there are two types of leaders. There's pragmatic and there's transformational. Which one are you? How you lead your team impacts the business strategy execution and the development of the culture and the people within your scope of influence. It affects your team dynamics and your problem-solving skills. It affects the results that you get. It affects the ownership of the problem and those solutions to those problems. If you want to develop an organizational culture that transforms your organization, you have to be a transformational leader. If you desire to create a culture of continuous improvement in your organization, you need to shift your thinking beyond the urgency in the moment of the decision making. Leadership isn't about what you know or how you do it. It's about how you think and how you act in those moments of crisis. Your leadership philosophy drives your behaviors. It drives your impact. It drives the way you think and act, and ultimately how you shape the culture of your team. Many organizations have pragmatic leaders by default. That's a natural thing to do. They're focused on the sense of urgency. They're focused on getting things done now and fixing the problem immediately. And while that can be effective in a crisis situation, it isn't always the most effective way for you to be able to solve the problem in a long-term sustainable approach. You see, it often leads to missed opportunities and missed engagement, and you lead to being more directional than transformational. You miss the opportunity to improve your team's development. And that's a key component of any decision-making process. How is your team going to grow through the process of making the right decisions? And you as a leader can influence that process. I work with leaders like Jacques who are high energy, in the moment, crisis management, love to be firefighting all the time. That's where they got their energy. That's where they got their enthusiasm. That's where they got their passion for work. But it wasn't a great way for a leader to respond and act in a moment of crisis. This high energy, save the day kind of mentality that Jacques had was actually creating confusion. It was creating miscommunication. It was creating the team to kind of wonder what it is that they were supposed to do in this situation, and caused confusion and burnout. The team never knew what to expect day to day from Jacques. One day he was up, one day he was down, one day we were fighting this crisis, another day we were fighting that crisis. It actually became tiring and exhausting working for somebody like him. He drew his value from being able to solve the problem real time and fast. That's what he thought his role was: problem solving, not developing people or those that were around him. Transformational leaders think that way. They think, how do I can solve the problem with the people around me and develop them in the process? Transformational leaders, by contrast, think more strategically. They think about developing the people. They think about making sure that what they put in place is going to be sustained, and that is creating the culture of the organization that they want to foster. Transformational leaders don't ignore the urgency. Transformational leaders use structure within the urgency to be able to develop their teams and the people around them in addressing that urgency. I've worked with leaders that have used this approach. They increase employee engagement. They increase morale. They give the team a sense of accomplishment. They give the team a sense of mission. Those attributes are critical if you want to build the culture you're looking to build. They sought to understand what the root cause of the problem was, not just addressing the symptom of the problem. And they did that together. And that is the mark of a transformational leader. Because when you empower your teams, you start to build collaborative environments. You start to transfer the sense of ownership. It's no longer just the leader's problem. It's now the team's problem. And when the team is engaged in solving that problem, they're also going to be engaged in the solution and ensuring that that solution is sustained over the long term. You see, continuous improvement isn't just a toolbox. It's a way of thinking. It's a mindset. And continuous improvement leaders need to always be thinking about how they leverage their responsibility beyond the decision-making process to developing their team. It's about developing a culture where there's professional development, even in the midst of problems. You see, a lot of companies don't think that way. Transformational leaders do. And when you do that, there's a sense of celebration. There's a sense of expectation that I'm going to be included in helping solve problems. It's about creating professional development and personal growth for those on your team. It's about developing skills, problem-solving skills, something that you do as a team, something you do to help your team members reach their professional organizational goals. Don't simply give them instructions on what to do next. There's no growth in doing that. This week, I'm going to challenge you to think about your leadership philosophy. Are you pragmatic or transformational? Are there moments where you want to be transformational, but default to being pragmatic? When there's an emergency situation or an urgent situation that comes up, how do you respond? Do you respond with direction and action? Or do you bring the team together and then make a decision together, developing those around you, helping them appreciate that they have a part in addressing the sense of urgency? It's an important observation to make for yourself. Behavior. How do my behaviors influence the culture of the organization and the people around me, my teammates, my colleagues? Ask some of your teammates around you, what kind of leader they think you are. Do they think you're a transformational leader, or do they think you're a pragmatic leader? And when you hear those answers, ask yourself, is that what you want people to say about your leadership style? If you got value out of this video, be sure to hit the like button. And if you're not a subscriber, subscribe so you don't miss a single module. And if you have any questions about the content, please put them in the comments. I answer every one.